I always get told, do you think you're more than one person? Do you not know who you are because you're using gender neutral pronouns?
I felt like those feelings of like, what if I'm pretending?
There are already these set expectations.
Because people pressure non-binary people so much to like be one way or the other. There's just no right or wrong way to be non-binary.
My definition of being non-binary might not be the same as the person next to me.
I think the way I would explain it to someone is basically, one day I feel more feminine, one day I feel more masculine, and then one day, so I might be somewhere in the middle.
There's a lot of different ways to be non-binary, and I think people confuse it with like a third gender, and it's just not that at all. It's no gender. Or it's lots of genders, you know, it's not one thing or another. I think that's why it's confusing for people.
I don't want to have that gender expectancy hanging over my head that I should be this way, I should be that way. Instead, I want to be completely out of that spectrum.
I have always been uncomfortable with my chest. I started binding a few years ago. I felt kind of fluid at that time, so I was like, yeah, whenever I feel like binding, I'll bind. And then I realized I was binding every day, every time I left the house. It basically feels like there's something on you that shouldn't be there. And I am somebody who is terrified of surgery, had never had surgery before, but I needed to do it. Getting surgery has been the absolute best thing that ever happened to me. I don't regret it for a minute. I just feel like a completely different person. So much more confident. I recommend for anybody that is looking to get a gender affirming surgery to do lots of research, find groups on Facebook. There are tons of them on Facebook that are very supportive. These are feelings that are never gonna go away, I don't think.
Not everyone uses the same pronouns. Not every non-binary person needs to use they, them.
I use they, them because it felt right for me, but there are tons of other non-binary people that use mixtures of them.
It really depends on the person, their comfortability, and how they want to identify themselves.
Often people will use multiple. Sometimes they'll use like other kinds of NEO-PRONOUNs.
Using pronouns is super important because you're validating who they are.
It's not grammatically incorrect if you're talking about one person.
If somebody drops their wallet and you're out in the street and you pick up the wallet and you're like, oh, somebody lost their wallet. Hope they come find it.
It's already in your language. It's just kind of modifying your thought process a little bit.
It's not too hard if you can remember their name, you can remember their pronoun. If you mess up, don't make it a big, huge thing.
Anytime someone refers to you as she or he and you are not that, just interject right away.
Having people with me that correct people for me is awesome. It makes things so much easier, so much less awkward.
If you are someone that isn't non-binary and you accidentally, misgender someone, just immediately correct it and move on.
I would say apologize, do better next time.
I am somebody who will be like, it's okay, no big deal, but it's not okay. Like, it's not. That made me uncomfortable and you shouldn't be doing that, you know?
We always get this misconception that we should look a little bit more androgynous, when in fact that's not the case.
When someone doesn't present androgynous, there is the possibility of getting misgendered.
I realized at the end of the day that I'm also putting that same pressure on myself because society is so pressuring to be binary.
Gender is a spectrum, 100%.
So we can look however we want to look.